Today's feature is The Tank, which was released April 21st by director Scott Walker, starring Lucianne Buchanan and Matt Whelan. And The Tank is a story that begins in 1946 with a family in a home. Um, you're not really sure what's going on. There's some problems. The father is going over to a water tank, and that's sort of where their segment ends. And then it flashes forward to 1978, which is where our film takes place. I'm not sure why it's 1978 and not the present day, with the exception of, when we put things in the past, it's easier for the characters to be stranded and victimized if they don't have all the technology that we do today. So 1978 is a new family, a charming family. They're the parents and the daughter. The parents own a pet store and they're quite involved with different types of animals and unique animals. The mother is studying to be a veterinarian, so she's quite knowledgeable about animals. And they have a little daughter who's very precocious and cute. Grandmother, the father's mother, has recently passed, and some man shows up, some disheveled man. Again, I don't know why he's disheveled because he's a lawyer, but maybe in the 70s lawyers didn't brush their hair. He shows up to say that, he's recently taken over the paperwork of deceased grandma, even though he's never met her, knows nothing about her. And it came to light that she was in ownership of a home that no one knew about. So they decide to go see the house, thinking they'll most likely sell it because they could use the money, but obviously they want to check it out first. And it is a charming little place. It's difficult to reach. You kind of have to park three forests over and scale mountains to get there. But once you're there, well, when they got there, it was covered with all kinds of vines. It looked like a jungle, which I suppose could happen in 30 years. I don't know. It was completely covered, but you can see the ocean. I mean, waterfront property. Cha-ching, cha-ching. And that's sort of what the father's thinking, like, hey, this is kind of cool. But mom just is unsettled in the house entirely. She feels something is wrong. The little girl is hearing something trying to get in when she's sleeping at night. And then it just sort of goes from there. There are a lot of gaps in the script. Like, it takes days for them to explore this house. It's not that big of a house. But toward the end of the film, they're still uncovering rooms and finding diaries and things, which I found a little bit unrealistic. Parts of the film go on for far too long without any kind of a payoff. We have characters with flashlights digging around, looking around, going outside, walking through the forest, and nothing really happens. So the tension kind of just dwindles after a while. There is a creature, this is a creature feature, or multiple creatures who are predatory. Lord knows what they've been eating out in this abandoned place all these years, but it is a forest, so perhaps, deer and things, I don't know. But there are creatures, and the creature reveal is okay. It's pretty good, except for they linger too long on the mouth, which is really Muppety looking and would kind of pull me back out. But for the most part, the creatures were kind of cool. And there's this really, what I liked, there was some good stuff to the tank. And one thing that I liked was the very beginning when they're in the pet store, they have tanks. They have aquatic animals and they have amphibious animals. And that comes back in the end with the actual water tank, which is a big enough, it's an underground cavern that you can go into. So I liked that frame from the beginning to the end. That was nicely done. And then there were some cute little things like the water is spring water. And the mother says, oh, we should bottle this. That might become a thing someday. And she's joking, but we all know that's not a joke. Bottled water did become a thing. So there's some like redeeming parts to this, but all in all, it was a little long. It took too long to get to the excitement. There was a low body count which I like my creature features to have a high body count. And there were a lot of bad decisions. Both the characters made bad decisions and the script writers made bad decisions. So, all in all, the premise is good and it could have been really compelling, but it sort of plodded along too much. And by the time the family got involved with trying to fight back, they did a lot of stupid things that sort of made it, sort of made the grade go down in terms of this film. Today's sidebar is dedicated to another water based creature film, not amphibious, but reptile, and that is the movie Crawl. Such a great movie. So fun. No, it is not high art, but it is incredible fun. The alligators are really creepy and scary and good. They look real. It takes place supposedly near my own home during a Category 5 hurricane. I survived a Category 5 hurricane. I don't know if I would have been able to fight an alligator during a Category 5 hurricane, but I mean, who knows? Who knows? Your survival instincts kick in, and I can verify that you do strange things in the middle of a Category 5 hurricane. So if you have a rainy day and you want to watch something watery, I highly recommend the movie Crawl.